So, have you been? What is the mental approach now that you have year 5 and the team can do a lot of things and you can achieve a lot of personal things as well?
I mean, I've been great. I think coming into this year, I'm in a good mental space. Obviously, it's my 5th year, so I'm kind of doing the same old stuff, from workouts and Jonas workouts. But I've really been in a really great space just in terms of, coming to this team, seeing the talent we have, and embracing being a leader. I think that's one of the main goals for me this year. I was a leader last year, but I think being more vocal this year is going to be a huge step for me. And I challenge myself to do that every day in practice. That way, it's easier in the games. And Coach Davis or Coach Lebo, they don't always have to feel like they're the coach on the floor. That way, the team can rely on me.
Aside from that, how have you enhanced your game? What on-court aspects might we see is a little bit more enhanced?
Obviously, just sharpening my all-around game. Obviously making sure my three-pointer is still up to par, and I shot the ball really well last year, so I'm going to continue to keep doing that. I think my playmaking has took a huge jump from last year to this year. Been doing a good job of kind of just reading the defense a little bit better, being steady and patient in the pick and rolls, and kind of just taking the defense gives me. And just my defense has been. It took a huge jump last year. I think I did extremely well. Oh, not extremely well, but a good enough job of maintaining my man. And I think that didn't get talked about a lot last year. So kind of just continue to increase that this year.
RJ, when I say the name Jaylen Washington,
Yeah.
what pops into your head?
Supreme talent. I think Jaylen had a really good summer this year. Was extremely working hard in the weight room, even on the court. And he's going to be ready for a breakout year. Jay Wash has been really well in pick and rolls, talking on defense. He's being more vocal, being more loud. That's what we need for him. And I told him, you've been here for 3 years, and it's your time to shine. So I think you guys are gonna expect some huge moments from Jay Wash this year.
So he seems different from the Jay Wash of the first 2 years.
100%. Obviously, he was coming off the first 2 years coming off an ACL injury. That's a lot mentally and physically for you. So kind of just getting up to the speed of the game, but you can see the talent when he's out there on the floor, knocking down threes, being able to spread the floor out, and extremely long, and able to meet guys at the rim. So I'm proud of Jay Wash, so he's gonna be good.
RJ, for you guys last year, of course, being able to win the ACC regular season, getting a #1 seed, things like that. What was kind of some of the messaging coming into this year? I guess from you particularly, seeing that level of progress you guys were able to make as a team. What was kind of that message that you were sending to the rest of the guys of, okay, this is the next step, and this is what we were able to accomplish, and everything like that?
Just seeing the routines that we did from last year and what got us there. Kind of just been preaching that to the guys. I think last year we always talked about we over me, and that's been a huge emphasis on this team and in this program because there's not one player bigger than this program, and things are accomplished as a team. So I think a lot of that last year and the success last year was seen through that. It was always guys uplifting other guys, looking for the good to a great shot, and that's something that I preached to the team this year, and kind of just bring it every day in practice. The energy. Just talking and being competitive. And that's what we did last year. Yeah. Some days where it was just like, blue was killing white and vice versa. So kind of just making sure to, iron sharpens iron. That's why I preach them because, you're going to make each other better.
And then to kind of go off of that, I mean, obviously you guys have been together for a little while now, but what was the process like of, bringing in these new guys as far as the transfers and the freshmen, but, still maintaining, kind of the style of play that you guys usually like to play? What was the process of getting all those guys kind of ingrained in this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different in a way just because of, we have a lot of new guys, but they're all younger. Yeah. Whereas last year we had a bunch of 30-year-olds, so everybody was able to acclimate to the game a little bit. But I think, the freshmen and the transfers, they've been really coachable. So they learn things on the fly. If they mess up one time, they'll get it right the next time. So they made, my job and the coaching staff's jobs easier, kind of just to teach them and learn them the pace, how we want to play, how we play. And I think they've been doing a good job of kind of just adjusting to it. So
yeah, you are now one of those 30-year-olds.
Literally.
Who out of all of those new guys has impressed you the most? Just stand out, hard worker.
I think all of them. I think all the freshmen have been. They live in the gym. They're talented, and I think that their game and their work ethic speaks for itself. And they're always ready to compete. So I would say literally from Ian to Drake to JB to Van Lubin to Cade Tyson, they all have been great.
Where do you expect to see the biggest jump in Elliot's game this year?
Yeah.
After what he learned last year.
I think just his confidence and his maturity of the game. Elliot's always been, for the year he had last year as a freshman was phenomenal, just in terms of the way he controlled the game, the way he was able to pass and find the lanes and use his speed to his ability. I think that's, as a freshman, that's pretty talented. But I think the big jump for him was just continue to do what he's doing, but kind of just understanding the game a little bit more, and just being more confident. In practices, he's confident when, driving to the lane, finding guys open and knocking down the three-pointer. So I'm expecting a lot of huge things from Elliot as well.
What's the one thing you tell these young guys that maybe you weren't told or you learned in your time here?
Yeah, so coming to my freshman year, I didn't really have like an older guy to kind of show me the way a little bit. I kind of was just like thrown into the fire. So kind of just learning along the way with my experiences, and kind of just tell them, we're in North Carolina, so everyone's going to come after us, and it's your job in order to bring it every day in practice, because that makes the games a lot easier. When you're competing against your brother, your teammates, and you're pushing them, that allows you to get better, but also it allows them to get better. And just to have the mindset, just don't take any plays off, and discipline. That's gonna be the main thing for this team. That's what I preach to them, because we have a lot of talent, but sometimes we lack attention to detail, and sometimes I have to break. Stop practice. I always tell Coach Davis. Coach Davis tells me if I feel like I need to call a timeout during practice, call it, and I'll do it just to bring him in, because our attention to detail could sometimes just lack off. So I'll do that just to kind of bring them together, regroup them. So that's like the biggest key for us, the biggest key takeaway this upcoming year.
How much have you thought about Alabama and 0-9 this offseason?
Yeah, so obviously last year, that being our last game, my last game, it was hard just because in terms of, I prepared myself mentally and physically for that game, and obviously I didn't shoot the ball really well, and coming up short like that with the phenomenal team we did, the phenomenal team that we had last year, it was hard to, kind of just process. But I think using that as motivation and coming into this year, they got, me, I think I want to say the past 2 years, I want to say, or something like that. So using that as motivation going into this year, just with an open mind, a clear mind, and just go out there and compete when the time comes.
Hubert says baseline to baseline, he wants you guys to be the fastest team in the country. How much faster are you than you've been previously?
Well, I'll put it like this. If we don't bring the ball up in 3 seconds, he gives the ball to the other team. So that's how fast he wants us to be. And I think we have the advantage and the ability to do it. So
You
yeah.
have the composition for that now, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
3 seconds to cross the midcourt.
Yeah, 3 to 4 seconds. If it's not up then he gives the ball to the other team.
How often does it happen when the team doesn't get it up?
It happens a lot, especially like when we're tired, when we're fatigued, and we've been going up and down for like 10 times. He's like, nope, blue ball, nope, blue white ball. So yeah. So, how you doing?
RJ, is it weird not having Mondo here?
Yeah, 100%. I always said Mondo. I feel like Mondo's been here for 8 years, not 5. So obviously, just not coming in, walking into practice or a weight room, being with someone that, you went through battle with, wins and losses, good times and bad times. It was hard to process, but I view that as a way to challenge myself and as a leader, to be vocal, to be the older guy that has seen, the ins and outs of the games and embrace it. Obviously Mondo's not here. It's a big loss for us just in terms of, what he did here as a Carolina player and the legacy he left. So. But it's definitely weird, but I've embraced it.
Going back to the pace, the 3 seconds, is it safe to assume then that Coach Davis is going to rotate a lot more guys so guys aren't getting tired from just sprinting up and down the court all the time?
Yeah, that, and he just also wants us to be in shape because he wants us to be the fastest team from inline to inline. So that's something we've been working on every day in practice.
RJ, you talked a lot about your leadership. Is there a specific player, former teammate that you model your leadership after?
No, not really. I kind of just, I like to lead in my own way. Obviously, I've had, different leaders and different teammates I've played with these past couple of years and that I've taken some, but I'd like to, lead in the way I know how to, whether it's by example or by being vocal. So, yeah.
You mentioned legacy, too. What would you like your legacy to be when you leave here?
That's a good question. I would just like to, look at my legacy of how I impacted the community and just this program, not just as an athlete, but as a person. I feel like, life is bigger than basketball, so any takeaways I could leave and just in terms of, how I left my legacy in terms of, making an impact on my teammates or, my coaching staffs, just anybody, really.
It goes beyond wins and losses.
Yeah, 100%.
Reginald, Hubert was saying in there when we talked to him, we need a big year from Jaylen Washington. Do you trust that a big year could be coming from him, or at least an adequate year that you need down there? I guess.
Yeah, I believe in Jay Washington. I have the utmost confidence for him. Just the work that he's put in these past 3 years, I feel like he's built for it. And we see in a lot of flashes when he's in the game of being able to spread the floor, shoot the ball from three, and be Jay Wash. So he's put a lot of hard work into this past offseason. And, in the weight room, whether on the court, he's phenomenal at talking through pick and rolls, being loud.
Right. He was mentioning.
Yeah.
The screening, the rebounding.
100%.
Yeah.
He's been really intentional detail on that. And I'm proud of Jay Wash. The growth he's made from last year to this year has been phenomenal. So he's going to keep it up. I'm expecting big things from him as well.
Will this be the fastest tempo you've seen from a Carolina team since you got to Chapel Hill?
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah, 100%. I think just because of the athleticism and speed we have from the guards to the wings. I think this is the most athletic team I ever played with in my 4 years of being here. So it's gonna be a fast-paced team, getting up and down and scoring a lot of points.
How much of a New York feel does this backcourt have with you and Elliot and Ian all together?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's there. Like from having another New Yorker, literally like him, being from Cardinal Hayes and then my team playing against Archbishop Stepniak playing against Hayes, doesn't feel like he's too far. So he's been doing a great job, and just having that kind of like that New York backcourt, I feel like that's a lot of talent there and a lot of good things to expect.
Bodega boys.
Do you have any idea about the history of how New York kids have impacted this program?
I know a little bit, but I have to get called to speed on that.
RJ, I know you've probably been asked this a million times by now, but Hubert really emphasized the pace you guys have been trying to get to going into the season. Have you noticed the difference in that throughout the summer for this group?
Yeah, I mean, I said a couple of minutes ago, like the best way to put it is like if we don't get the ball up in 3 to 4 seconds, he'll give it to the other team in practice. So I think that's a true testament of how he wants us to play. Get the ball out quick after a made or a missed basket and get up and down the floor. He's always talking about getting the best shot available, whether it's a layup or a wide open three. So we've been really intentional on doing that because we don't want the ball to give to the other team, but at the same time, that's how we want to play this year.
Is there more space that you're noticing too?
Yeah, 100%. I think just with the athleticism and talent we have, it allows us guards to get downhill, make a play for ourselves or for our teammates. So the floor is spread out a lot, and we're able to kind of just get downhill and just play our brand of basketball.
When you guys lost to Alabama out in LA and the season was over, was there part of you that thought, this is the last time I'm playing for UNC? I remember you and Armando walking out together, kind of into the sunset.
Yeah.
I mean, was there part of you that thought that, like, this is it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I had a lot of mixed emotions going into at the end of the game. Just in terms of us losing and me not shooting the ball really well, and just just the team we had, I felt like we could have went really far and been there in the Final Four national championship game. So I was just processing all of that at once, and like asking myself, is this the last game? This is the last time I'll be in a UNC jersey. So I had a lot of thoughts and a lot of mixed emotions walking out that tunnel. I knew it was Mondo's last year, and his last time playing with him. So
last.
Yeah. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about your I'm Back announcement video.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of came up in the middle of the night, kind of in the middle of the morning, if you think about it like that. What was kind of the purpose behind the timing of that?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it was a hard decision going into after the year I had, the year we had as a team, and it wasn't an easy decision to make, obviously, but at the same time, I kind of just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision for me and me only, and obviously I posted a little bit late, but I did it on purpose so no one can know my next move. So
thanks a lot.
That was a way to just keep you guys on edge.
What was the reaction of the team when you finally told them that you're coming back?
I got a bunch of texts like, "Why did you post like so late?"
Well, you were on the West Coast, right?
Nah, I was home. I was in New York. Yeah.
There was the conspiracy theories. Well, he's out in LA. So
no, I was home. I was home in New York. Right. So, but it was just like a bunch of, glad you're back and let's get it another year.
Yeah, and with all the things you've accomplished in your career here, what's left? Like, what do you really want to get out of your last year?
Really, I mean, I said it, as a freshman, just being able to win a national championship. I was so close my sophomore year, and just having that feeling as a sophomore, and just being in that environment, it's a chance and a feeling that you want to get back. So, just really overall win.
How's your NIL?
Thank you,
approach
OJ.
NIL
No problem.
changed?
Yes, sir.
How's your approach to NIL changed this year? I mean, you were All-American last year. Your marketability is at an all-time high. Like, how has that been different? Your approach been different this year?
Yeah, and just in terms of that, I mean, it's been an eye-opener to me because it was all brand new to me in terms of like kind of just being more marketable and receiving different, brands and businesses. But at the same time, I always keep the main thing, and that's basketball. I know NIL deals will come, but I just kind of really just trying to focus on basketball and making sure I'm doing what I got to do on the court.
Be staying up late watching a lot of women's basketball from Oregon this season?
Yeah, I'm going to have to, man. I mean, those West Coast games are going to get me. I think by the time I'm ready to go to sleep, she's going to be playing basketball, so I'm going to have to catch up on those.
How hard is that?
It's gonna
different coasts.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard, but we'll make it work, and I'll make it work.
You guys got a pretty fun non-conference schedule this year between going to Hawaii early at at Allen Fieldhouse. You got Alabama coming here, and then Battle for Atlanta. I mean, what game are you most excited for?
Literally all of them. I have every game circled on my schedule, and just to be able to go out there and compete against those great teams, I'm embracing it, and I'm ready for it.
RJ, was there like one moment over the summer when you realized like, all right, I'm coming back, or was it more like the steady, okay, I'm thinking, I'm leaning this way, or was there one moment where you're like, all right, that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of ups and downs of thoughts of what I'm gonna do, what's my decision gonna be, just that whole month really of I want to say April. Just trying to figure out what was the best decision for me, and I ended up making the best decision by coming back.